That's
Well said.
from the operating levy, which was for the operations cost. Will the new buildings produced by the bond affect operating costs? Will we be able to kind of see that? Will having new buildings impact the kind of operating costs in the
That's
future?
an excellent question. We're actually working with SHP, which is our architect, and Skanska Megan, which is a construction company, and they're putting in some of the most innovative, cost-effective equipment in our buildings to make sure that we see a return on our investment. So when we talk about operational services in the future, these will be very, very energy efficient buildings that will actually save us money in the long run.
Excellent. I'm going to take a moment to say that you are watching Waycross Election Forums on Waycross Community Media. We're discussing Issue 5. It will be on the ballot in November, a substitute levy for Winton Woods schools. If you are watching this show live on October 3rd, you can email in your questions right here to the studio, and there will be the email address right there at the bottom of your screen. I want to ask you, because I think another thing that the voters are seeing are flyers show up in their mailbox and sign shows up in yards. And just like when they see building happening and say, well, gee, if they can pay for that, they may say, well, I see they're buying signs and they're paying for mailings, and where is that funding coming from? Could one of you address that?
I would be happy to. That question comes up in most levy campaigns. By law, the school district cannot spend any of its money on raising other money. The district cannot do that. So what happens
Can you say that again, please? Say that again.
By law, the school district cannot spend any of its tax money
Correct.
to raise money.
But Mr. Pennycuff, I understand the district cannot spend money for the campaign levy, but isn't Dr. Smith one of our employees, and we're paying him, and he's here campaigning for the levy? Should he not be allowed to campaign for the levy if we're paying him with our tax dollars? Thank you.
On raising other money. The district cannot do that. So what happens
Can you say that again, please? Say that again.
By law, the school district cannot spend any of its tax money
Correct.
to raise money, to take issues to the voters, to take sides on political contests, basically. So what happens is that the voters, the community members, such as me, I'm not part of the administration, I'm not on salary.
So again, Dr. Pennycuff, I'm asking, I fully understand, you and I have talked over the years, so about 5, 6, 7 times, that you and I are both residents. We're not employees of the school district, but our taxes are paying our employees, of whom Dr. Smith is one, and he's campaigning for the levy. So my question is, I guess, how is that allowed for our employees that we pay with our tax dollars from the district funds to campaign for the levies? Thanks again, Mr. Pennycuff.
So what happens is that the voters, the community members, such as me, I'm not part of the administration, I'm not on salary, I'm just a concerned citizen, okay? And there are several of us who have banded together to operate a campaign to get out those flyers, to design and pay for those yard signs that you are seeing. So it is a community effort to drive that out, to get the word out.
I think it's an important distinction, and I think it's one of the questions people have when you're asking for money is, well, who bought this flyer? Who bought this sign?
If you look on every yard sign that we have put out, or every yard sign that any political campaign puts out, if they are following the law, on the bottom it says paid for by, and it lists either the chairperson of that campaign, whether you're running for governor or city council or whatever, or the treasurer of that organization as filed with the Board of Elections. So go look at the yard signs. Down at the bottom in small print, those flyers that came to your door last weekend were delivered by volunteers, parents, community members who think it's important to get the word out and to address these questions up front.